Thanks for that hippie music. How you guys doing? What's up? Welcome to Costa Studios. Give yourselves a big round of applause for coming out tonight. I'm Matt Baca. I'll be doing about 10 minutes. No more, no less, as the contract would state. Hey, welcome to Denver. How many of you live in Colorado, in Denver, the Denver area? By a round of applause. Denver is a great place. I love Denver. I've been living downtown for about 3 years. I love Denver, but they got to butch this place up a little bit. And let me explain. Because when you fly into DIA and you take that little train to baggage claim, you always hear whoever the mayor is at the time. And when I flew in, it was like a year ago, it was like, hi, this is Mayor Hickenlooper. Welcome to the Mile High City. You guys heard that? And then everybody on the train is like, hi, welcome to the Mile High City. Hey, listen, folks, nobody speaks with a southern accent in Denver. I hate to break it to you. They might as well just get a New Yorker and be like, hey, this is Mayor Tony Marinara. Get your bags and get out. Bada bing. I think they should just change the whole marketing to Denver to, welcome to Denver, you're going to get drunker quicker. I think that would be it, right? Because you have friends who come from out of town, below sea level. It might be your roommate from college from Kentucky who's an alcoholic, and they think they're going to make Denver subjugate to them and be like, we're going to party in Denver. And then one day in of partying in Denver, oh my God, am I dying? And that's when you whisper in their ear, welcome to Thunderdome. That's right. I can't party downtown either. I used to be able to party hardcore downtown Denver. I can't do that anymore because you get out of the clubs at 2 in the morning and you survey the damage around you, and it's like you're watching a war movie. It's like there are bodies strewn everywhere. People are crying. There's that group of people that's trying to catch that cab like it's the last chopper at a Nam kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And the thing in Denver that's crazy is that all the cab drivers are either from Sudan, Somalia, or Ethiopia. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's pretty crazy. I got into a cab, and I hopped in. I said, hey, where are you from? And the guy was like, I'm from Ethiopia. I was like, oh, wow, what'd you do back in Ethiopia? And he was like, I was a doctor. Yeah, he was a doctor. He was just real nonchalant about it. I was like, do you realize if Americans had to move to Sudan or something, we would lose our minds, ladies and gentlemen. If you picked up a cab in Mogadishu and you hop in and you're like, oh my God, my driver, it's Frank Azar. I can't believe it. And he would be really ticked. He'd be like, a $2 tip? I used to be the strong arm of the law. He drives his cab back to the taxi station, and there's Tom Sawaya. $2? That's messed up, bro. That is messed up. So a little bit in the news, I guess we started a little late because Obama was actually speaking in Boulder, which is pretty wild. Okay, crickets. That's awesome. That's awesome. I personally, for me, I used to hate Boulder, but now I love Boulder because I'm going to a very progressive hippie church up there. They actually have gluten-free communion wafers, which is pretty sweet. It's awesome. It's weird, though, when the preacher said to us, the zero trans fat body of Christ shed for you. It was a little odd. Boulerites love their animals, which is great, but I was there last summer. I accidentally hit a squirrel with my car. Boom, the squirrel just flew up over my car. I was like, oh my God, I hope nobody saw me, right? So I look around, I was like, oh, thank God, nobody saw me. And then I looked in my rearview mirror, and this lady, she saw me, and she started following me. And she followed me for 10 miles. Yeah, she was jogging, and I was like, this lady is in shape, or my Ford Focus sucks, one of the two. I have a fondness of Boulder because I actually teach a class up in Boulder, which is pretty cool. In the summer, it's actually to international MBA students. I love it. But my students always, I really realize how ignorant I am about the rest of the world when I talk to my students. For example, I taught a bunch of students from India last year. And I wanted to get to know where my students were from in India. I said, what cities are you from? And one guy's like, I am from Mumbai. Oh, awesome. Where are you from? I am from Bangalore. Oh, sweet. Where are you from? I'm from Endor. Like, Endor? That's where the Ewoks are from in Return of the Jedi. And here's the weird thing. He preempted me from saying that. He knew that I was going to say that as an American. He's like, oh, I know, totally, Ewoks, Endor, yeah, Return of the Jedi. Well, your last name is Baca, as in Chewbacca. And I was like, touche, my friend, touche. It's weird, too, because my Indian students always want to pit me against other people groups in class. Like the Indians and the Pakistanis, I don't know if you know this, they do not necessarily like each other. And this Indian student came up to me after class, he said, hey, Professor Baca, what do you feel about the Pakistanis lining up their forces on the Indian border? I didn't know you guys shared a border. No idea. I know this. I know how to sing a few songs to you in a Schoolhouse Rock songs. Would you like that? That'd be good. It's wild. And Boulder is very, they're very in shape. People are really, really in shape. People always ask me, do you like to ski, Matt? Are you a big skier? Do you ski? No, because I don't like to do a sport that begins each season with, the death count begins at 11 this week. I don't think I'm going to do that. The other thing is a lot of my friends, they're constantly like just putting a lot of, wear and tear on their body and everything. And you go up to Boulder in the summers, everyone's wearing shorts, and you can see everyone's knees have all been blown out. And it's never the way a normal person blows out their knees, but it's always something crazy. You're like, hey, how'd you blow out those knees? The guy's like, oh, I was actually rappelling down an active volcano in Peru. And it's like, that's great. What are you, a villain from a Bond movie? What are you? But then I look at their feet and I realize that villains from Bond movies don't wear bright orange Crocs! Thank you. Hopefully Crocs investors aren't here tonight. If they are, it's all good. And I got to get out of here in a few minutes, but I will say this. I'm not a big guy that likes to exercise a ton. This is my New Year's resolution. I don't know if you kept yours. I've kept mine faithfully. I vowed not to set foot in the gym at all in 2012. That's it. You know why? Because the gym combines two of my greatest weaknesses: beautiful women and machines that can kill me. And I don't need that. I was there like 6 months ago, and I was actually going to the gym. There's a beautiful woman just booking it on the treadmill, And I was like, I'm going to impress this beautiful woman, right? So I get on the empty treadmill next to her, and I don't even worry about the jog, because you can do like a jog on a treadmill. I crank that thing to 11. I press that one button. It's the Nigerian marathon runner button. You guys know that button? Yeah, I just cranked it. I just overclocked it. And so right when the song on my iPod, which was an AC/DC song, I remember this very clearly, and I was going full force, my ankle rolls. Do you ever have that happen to you? Well, mine did, because apparently I have the bones of a 6-year-old girl. It's ridiculous. And so I'm leaning forward. I was like, oh, dear God, help me. And I wish I could say I was parallel on this thing, but I wasn't, because that treadmill was going too fast, and I couldn't get my traction. And so eventually my legs just gave out like they were being dragged behind a Mack truck. It was ridiculous. Like the tops of my shoes, like you could smell the burnt rubber from my Nikes. It was disgusting. People were like, what does that smell? And by the way, I don't know if you've been on a treadmill and you hear this noise. Zzz. You ever hear that noise? That noise is the noise that some bad stuff is about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. That is the gym equivalent of when animals attack. So right when I was about to let go and let God, this hand comes over and like turns off that huge brick-sized button, the abort mission button. Boom, turns that off. And I look over and it's her. Yeah, how ironic is that? It's a girl that I'm trying to impress. And then she takes off. And at first, I was really ticked. I was like, she didn't stick around. But I was like, yeah, she wouldn't want to be involved in the accident report. Why would she want to stick around? She'd be like, I missed, and then what happened? And she'd be like, well, officer, then he got back on the treadmill, started singing Highway to Hell, and then he went through that wall. That's pretty much the way that happened. So I tried circuit training. How many of you guys have done circuit training? By round of applause here. Anybody done circuit training? There we go. Okay, so we know circuit training is actually individual exercises that when taken as a whole will make you cry, black out, or vomit. I had no idea that was the case. And they have these misleading leading names for their exercises. Like if you work out, if you do weights, if you pump iron, there's an exercise called skull crushers. You guys know that? Skull crushers, the bar goes over your head, and you realize, okay, if I drop this on my head, it's going to crush my skull. All right, that's good. Good to know. In circuit training, they have these cute names: dips, planks, and burpees. You ever done a burpee? Burpees, you jump up, down, your legs go behind you, then in front, then you jump up again. That's one burpee, ladies and gentlemen. I did one burpee. I couldn't see out of my left eye. I was like, can we do some skull crushers? That would be really great. So now I'm taking it easier. I'm taking it easy. And actually, I didn't know if you knew this, but if you live in Boulder, you actually are required to take 6 credits of yoga. I didn't know that. So I'm actually taking a yoga class, and it's a trip because our yoga instructor, she says some crazy things. Like there was an exercise, and it was called thread the needle. She's like, we're going to thread the needle. I was like, that sounds sexy. And it was until my legs went numb. And it was ridiculous. So she wants us to stretch. She's always having us stretch, and she says, you're really going to feel a deep stretch. Now you're going to feel your groin yawn. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. She said that. You're going to feel your groin yawn. I did it, and I said, Miss, my crotch just yodeled. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm Matt Baca. Thank you very much at Costa Studios. You guys have a great night. Thank you very much.